friends, welcome back. If you are a rad mom, please take extra precautions for your health. It's vital. You are very important in your home. Whether outside people are recognizing that or not, yet that's their problem. I don't think that people often realize how much that mom takes. Not only is she stepping up to the plate and taking over a position that somebody else walked out on and has taken on a very difficult job. And if she is still there and still hanging in there, that says a lot about her character. She is a lot better person than the average person could not handle this job. And that is 100% the truth. And this can really take a toll on her and her husband as well. Maybe some people don't realize, but in therapy, outside people aren't in that therapy office with that family, but therapy is often focused on mom, and she does the majority of the work with that rad child. And I don't think that other people really realize that much. But she is the one who does the majority of the work with that rad child. And if she didn't love that rad child, she would not still be there doing that job, because it is not easy. It is a very hard job. So if you're one of those people who are judging her and putting some sort of blame on her for bad behaviors, you have no idea what she goes through. Not a clue. Now, I would like to talk about symptoms that you may see in her, either one of the parents or whoever is in that role of parent, and that is post-traumatic stress disorder. A lot of times, rad parents are diagnosed with this. I was diagnosed with this. So I would like to talk about these symptoms and what it might look like, what you might be seeing when you see that rad mom looking frazzled. Cause of it, let's start with the cause. The cause is by repeated rejection by the child. You're giving and giving and giving, and there's little or no lasting positive return for that. And I've kind of talked about that before with the black hole analogy. You're giving and giving and giving, and you're thinking at some point this child is going to recognize that I'm loving them and that I'm not leaving, and I'm not going to leave them like their biological mom did. I'm not going to neglect them, that I'm taking care of them, that I care, that I'm listening, that I'm going through all of this extra effort with the doctors and the therapy. And if you knew what the rad moms have to do, because therapy doesn't stop when you leave the doctor's office. It is in the home as well. It is a 24/7 job. You start to question yourself inside by all of that you're giving out, and you're not getting anything in return. With your biological children, you do get in return. Relentless, unending control battles. And it's crazy. You're having control battles over the craziest things that you wouldn't even imagine. We were having control battles with food issues. The food issues, food represents love, and she would not eat that food that I made for her. She refused to eat it. It was just extreme control battles. Need for incredible self-control at all times. And this is the parent. This is the parent's need, because you're being told in therapy, don't show emotions, don't show when something bothers you, don't show these things, just keep a cool non-expression. So you have to learn to control your facial expressions, control what's being said with your eyes, control what's coming out of your mouth. Relax your muscles and don't look tense. And so you're having to learn how to do something that's completely unnatural and keep an extreme amount of control over yourself, because you don't want that to be seen by the rad child. And this is what doctors are telling you. And you're starting to see, if you do show an expression. I'm a very emotional person, and if I showed any sort of emotion, this is what she wanted. She wanted to see that. She wanted to know that she was having an effect on me, and what she was doing was working. And it took me a long time to figure that out, that the doctors were right when they were telling me that. Changes within yourself and your family that seem out of your control and are not apparent choices. When you're watching your family fall apart, and no matter how much love or family time you plan, or individual time with your kids that you plan, what I can remember, I would go out of my way and plan picnics, even in my living room, and put a blanket on the floor and make a picnic for dinner, just as a surprise, to just really trying to help my family bond, help them have wonderful memories. And each and everything that I would do, I don't know why that is the thing that came to my mind, because there were many different things that we would do as a family, trying to work, trying to get over this hurdle, which we thought was just blending. We just thought we were trying to blend as a family, and that wasn't the problem. But not feeling like there was anything that we could do to help, you start feeling very helpless, and this causes a great deal of mental distress as a parent. The primary symptoms of that are avoidance of thoughts and feelings, decreased interest in participation in significant events, decreased effect and display of feelings, sense of being detached or estranged from others, psychological, physical distress at exposure to trigger events that symbolize the trauma, nightmares, flashbacks, avoidance of situations that bring back trauma memories, that remind you of a traumatic event that had happened in your family. For us, a lot of that involves churches, probably because that was the majority of where our focus was in our lives, is the Lord and serving the Lord, and teaching our children to serve the Lord. So for us and our family, a lot of our traumatic events, it revolved around church, and we've had to leave many churches because people just don't understand anxiety, depression, agitation and irritability, social isolation, fear, severe anxiety, mistrust. Now, even saying these symptoms brings back all of that. Around the time that I was diagnosed with PTSD, these symptoms were so severe in me, I literally could not hold a conversation with someone, and I would just break down and cry. If someone said, "How are you?" forget it, it was over. I could not. My nerves were raw. It was horrible. Loss of interest in activities. I'm just this year starting to do crafts and enjoy like decorating in my home and things like that again, which had all went away as well. And these were things that I loved my whole life and just really had no interest in. And actually I have another YouTube channel with those type of things, because that's my outlet now, to where I can do a craft or do something like that, and it takes my mind off of the drama. I highly suggest that if you are putting down those things that you once loved, that were a release or an outlet to you, really focus on trying to pick that back up and finding something that's going to help you have an outlet to take your mind off of those things. How I started was the adult coloring books, and that sounds very simple, but finding something that was mindless, that I didn't need to have a lot of thought to put into, but could just go through the motions and be creative. It's very healing, and I highly suggest it. Guilt, loneliness, insomnia, the guilt and the loneliness that you feel as a rad parent, just in general, and the guilt is from not being able to fix it. Emotional detachment or unwanted thoughts. You do start feeling very, well, it goes with the mistrust. It's very painful when you are the one who is putting all of your time and your effort into trying to fix and heal and love someone who you're stepping up to the plate, and that child is targeting you. And not only is that child targeting you, but so are family members and friends and random other people who do not understand. Maybe you've explained it to them. Maybe you've had them watch these kinds of videos to help them understand, but they're just still not getting it. Well, after so much blame has been put on that rad mom, you really start to distrust people, and you really do start to detach from people and isolate yourself, because you can't handle being hurt over and over. You're already being hurt by that child, being rejected repeatedly by that child, and the more you love, the more they reject. And that's being portrayed differently to the outside world. And then you're being rejected by them as well. And that enforces in the child that if they keep it up, they can get rid of you. Honestly, a lot of times it pushes those moms to think, I just want to give up. I just want to run away from home. I know I have thought that many times. And what has kept me here is I love my husband, and I would not trade him for anything in the world. And I love my daughter. If I left, no one else is going to come in and put as much time and effort in as I have. And even those family members and friends who think that they love her, they have not put in the effort and the time. And even my daughter knows that. If you really and truly love that rad child, you are going to do the research and look it up and understand this disorder. The secondary effects that you're going to see from the PTSD is sleep problems, irritability, we've talked about that, anger, hypervigilance, and a higher startle response. Feelings that you're unlike others, damaged sense of self-worth, feeling out of control emotionally, you're fatigued, depressed, and a loss of security. And these are all, as a parent, you do blame yourself. You do, think, well, if I did this, if I just did that, maybe this person's right. Maybe I should try this. Maybe I am the blame. But that's not true. That's not true. You're not to blame. You're not the cause. You're not the reason. These children have been damaged long before, and you're not alone. I'm here with you. I know what it feels like. I know that rejection from that child, and I know what it feels like to be rejected by family members and friends and those people who say they love you and then walk away. So, or judge you for how you're doing things. You talk to your doctor. There are techniques and things that can help. Respite is definitely something that is needed, and sometimes it's longer respite periods than just overnight or even over a weekend. Sometimes a little bit longer is needed. So even if mom needs a little vacation of her own for a while, that's for her mental health, for your family's health. Sometimes that's needed. I hope this is helpful. I hope it maybe explains a few things that maybe you were questioning. I know at the time that I was going through the majority of this, the worst part of these symptoms for me, I didn't even know what it was. I had not, I didn't know that's what was happening to me. I didn't know that I had PTSD. I didn't know what that meant. I didn't know what it looked like. Find a good support group. You're welcome to leave your comments here down below. And if you do need a support group, please let me know. I can hook you up with a few different ones. And I hope this video helped a little bit. And of course, I hope you're having a great day. I will talk to you in the next video. So until then, bye-bye.